What I wanted to do was tell our stories. I wanted to change the complexion of the newsstand. For a lot of people, we were the first magazine to put them on a cover. And now you see women like Jennifer Lopez and Salma Hayek, and you think, that's not just Latina beauty, that's what American beauty looks like. I love having some small hand in changing the notion of what American beauty looks like. My parents told me I could be anything, that a young Latina could do anything. But I didn't see images in the media and stories that were consistent with what my parents were telling me. I didn't see a lot of people like me succeeding. I have a vague memory of seeing Char on the Love Boat. Once a year, West Side Story, you're grasping at 3 or 4 television moments a year. I remember reading all these teen magazines and feeling really unattractive and left out. My friends who are African American had grown up reading their mother's copy of Essence magazine, the largest magazine for African American women in the United States. And I always thought it was amazing that there was nothing like that but for us. I basically did a class project and wrote a business plan for a magazine for Hispanic women that I completely based on Essence magazine. And I thought, well, great, maybe I'll try and start a magazine when I graduate, and if I fail miserably, I can be a lawyer. I didn't know how hard it would be, which was fortunate. When I was trying to raise money to start Latina, I had about 15 minutes with Ed Lewis, who was like my hero, who 30 years before had started Essence magazine. I came in with a business plan, and I said, there are going to be more Hispanic women in this country than African American women in about 20 minutes. And we haven't had a magazine yet. We put together a partnership. We launched the magazine in '96. We put on the first cover this young rising star named Jennifer Lopez, who we thought might be the next big thing. To see her face on the newsstand with everybody else, I was like, wow, we look just as good. And I was like, wait, we actually look better. Jennifer reappeared on the cover a number of times early on. There were so few Latinas who were famous. The reaction to the magazine launching was wonderful. I mean, just the letters, from the really inspirational, oh my gosh, I never knew there was a Latina astronaut, to I'd never seen makeup tips on someone with my skin color. The consumers were there long before the advertisers, which makes the business really tough. I knocked on all of these doors, the makeup companies, the automotive companies. I heard the most incredible objections. The same stereotypes and the lack of positive images of Hispanic women informed their view of who we were. I had people ask me, do you think your readers can afford our product? You're selling a $5.99 lipstick at Walgreens. I know a lot of poor people, they all have lipstick. We can show you the research. Have you ever seen a Latina without lipstick on, ever? One time I had a really good day in Detroit. I'd gone to see General Motors and Chrysler and Ford, and they were all stepping up and advertising in the magazine for the first time. I felt so triumphant, and I went back to my hotel. I was, wearing a suit like this, and I went down the hall to get a bucket of ice. A woman stopped me in the hallway and said, "Oh, wonderful, dear, are you bringing those to all the rooms?" I thought of 10 really good things to say when I got back in the room. But at the time, all I could say was, "No, ma'am, just my room." Of course, she walks away puzzled. And I'm trying to decide, should I go back and polish off the minibar, or no, you know what? I need to get back to work, because until that woman sees me and thinks, wow, that looks like an entrepreneur, or I bet that's a lawyer. Until that woman sees me and thinks that, we're not done yet. My friends joke that I'm like a sleeper cell in Hollywood. I've infiltrated the system. You can't be what you can't imagine. I wanted to change the images of Latinas in this country so that other people could see the full diversity and complexity of who we are, but also so that we could see who we are.